Well, first, tell them who. Let's tell them who you are, cuz, and where you from, and you can say what you do or what your passions are.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What's up, y'all? I'm Khay Renee, also known as KR Shootin, but local photographer, born and raised in Nashville. Grew up out east, grew up out in Bordeaux. Yeah. But my passion is photography. I just love telling people's stories through my lens, and I think that's something that's grown and evolved over time, and so that's my passion. I also have a passion for the youth. I've always been inspired by the youth and have always worked with the kids, in the community. So it's a blessing to be here, and I'm honored to be here. So
that's crazy. So I wanted you to say all that because I wanted you to say who you were, what you do, and there's mutuals that we know that probably don't even know that we cousins.
Right.
Blood cousins, first cousins.
Exactly.
My pops and your pops are actual brothers.
Brothers.
Crazy.
Crazy.
And right now we're shooting at our granny house.
Yep.
We're sitting right now in our granny house in this front yard of this crib where we all grew up.
Yep.
Where we all got so many memories. We was tapping into a few of them off the camera.
Yeah.
It's really crazy, right? Like when I see your work, or when I just see black people work, period, right? We all got those similar commonality stories about our shared experience. One of them being Granny house.
Yep.
What was going down at Granny house, and how Granny raised us, how Granny kept the family together, how Granny poured into the grandkids. And now that we older, I'm 32, cause we both married, both creating. We both have siblings that we pour into.
Yeah.
When we were younger, cause did you envision yourself being the creative in the community staple that you are now, or was it something that kind of grew over time?
Honestly, I never knew exactly what I would do in terms of the creative field, but I always knew and felt this, and this is not a pride thing or anything like that, but I always felt that I had a special purpose.
Heard you.
And I couldn't articulate it as a kid, obviously, but I think as I got older, it just kind of spoke through what people would speak like. When people spoke life into me, it kind of affirmed it. So as time progressed, I think I just kind of, bought into it. And I'm like, okay, if this is what I'm here for, let's do it. But naturally, I've always had a camera. Back in the MySpace days, it was, MySpace you put your edits on there, crazy poses.
MySpace is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had the little digital camera or whatever, but I never knew, but I felt it was a feeling. My parents, my grandparents, everybody spoke life, and I think that is something that helped cultivate who I am today.
With the camera, and how gifted you are using the camera with the lens. What your first camera was?
My first camera was a Canon Rebel T5 or a T3, one of those, but it was a Canon Rebel.
You bought it with your money or somebody bought it for you?
My mama helped me get it around tax season. I put my money up and she put her money towards it. She was like, we're gonna get this camera. So yeah, freshman year of college.
I bought both my cameras.
Really?
In the past 2 years with tax money.
Really?
Yeah,
hey.
I just waited. It's mine.
Hey.
But it's right. And I was asking that question because of we have our singular or our personal reasons why we invest in something, right? And why it becomes our channels or our mediums for our creativity, or something that we want to put into the world or offer to the world. And then we have the outside sources who may see that we passionate about something. Yeah. And I feel like we can relate that lucky for us, no matter how the support came. My wife, for sure, every step of the way.
Definitely.
Has been oh, okay, I see this. And then my mom, for sure. Sports, music, and even my pops, there was always something where they're okay, you really want this? I help you. Yeah. I help you get that, you know what I mean? But we still got to find our own way. So the second part is when you got the camera, was it already decided that this is something that you wanted to do, or you had to like really develop an intimate relationship with it and really see like, damn, like I'm great at this, and this is a service that people will seek me out for?
You know, honestly, freshman year, I think when I did ask my mom for the camera, like to help me get the camera, I think at that point I knew that that's something I wanted to do. I obviously didn't know that, you know, it would become an actual business. For me, it was something I just enjoyed doing. And it's one of those things where when you enjoy doing something and you can make money doing it, and then you know you kind of good at it, and it's like, okay, you know. But no, I got the camera, and I honestly just, like, on campus at Fisk, my friends, people I didn't even really, weren't even like close friends, but just people on campus that knew who I was and I knew who they were. They supported me, and so at the time I had a clothing brand and the photography. So I was like, all right, some got to get me out of, got to make me some money. So I definitely knew I wanted to like start my own business and be an entrepreneur, but I didn't know all of this would come as a result.
Is there any of those qualities that you felt like you got from like Unc and your mom? Yeah, most definitely. Both of my parents, I would definitely say, are hustlers for sure, in their own right. I can relate to that.
Just
It might be that. It might be that generation, bro. Like, my mom, she does boutique. You know what I mean? She did hair.
Yeah.
She's, you know what I mean? Like, like and the mastery of the skills and the services that they have to either develop out of necessity or just like something that they wanted to do.
Yeah.
I feel like I got enough proof in my journey because we're like recognizing and honoring our roots and like our lineage is like super important, bro. Because I honestly feel like the bloodline we come from and just the people we come from and that have poured in us, whether it be brought into our family through marriage or through separation, but just our direct lineage, because like that's why it's like I'd be super proud when I see you or our cousin Fonzo being, you know what I mean? But just our family standing, period. I think I asked you off camera, but just to emphasize, like, do you feel rooted, like when you doing what you're doing with your camera, and is there something that you feel like also pours into like not just like our generation that continues after this generation, but like right now? Absolutely.
I definitely think it's one of those things where it feels, for me, I've always like been absorbed with like nostalgia, from the music I listen to just being able to come over here and open up photo albums like we were just talking about of my other grandmother's house. And so it feels like I feel like I'm kind of contributing to creating memories or freezing those moments that 20, 30 years from now people not even realize, like, oh, I'm glad she got that. And I think that's just the beauty of being a photographer in general, is that not only am I able to capture like other people's families, but capture my own. And so I definitely feel like, 20 years from now when you open up a photo album, the hope is that you see my work, some family photos of some sort that I was able to capture with a family, but also just being able to capture my own family and, being able to know that, like, I'm just not, what I'm trying to say is basically like, I feel like I'm contributing to telling stories of people now the same way people did 20, 30 years ago.
I didn't want to cut your wisdom.
No, you good.
But when I hear you speak, and then it shows in your work, so like how much you pride and pour into being documentarian and archivist, preservation of, call it stories, history, like, you know what I'm saying, not just the people you love, but the things that other people and the things that those people love, and what they love about themselves. What's some of the hurdles, cause like going through it, that you've experienced that really tested your it could be dedication, inspiration, like questioning your why and your how. What are some of those?
Definitely some hurdles. I mean, hurdles every day, but one of the ones that I knew early on, being in college, was how do I show up in this creative space for other people while also trying to preserve my own mental health. You know, how do I still show up to a photo shoot in the right mind to be able to capture one's story or one's moment, whether it's a graduation or, you know, engagement, whatever. How do I do that, but also making sure I'm taking care of myself? And so I think prioritizing my mental health is sort of a hurdle, depending on the way you look at it, you know. But I think taking care of myself while also still showing up and going to work a 9 to 5, and also still coming home to make sure that I'm investing in the business and, you know, all of that. And so I think just preserving my mental health has always been a huge hurdle, especially in college. It was like, okay, you in college, you got, you know, classes, you working other part-time jobs, you know, you're finding yourself. I think college is the time where I was on the way to finding who I am. And so I definitely think that was a hurdle then, and I think it's sort of a hurdle now, but it's more so something that's necessary, because I think being able to know that the things that I go through are also things that other people go through, and so I can resonate with the client or someone I connect with, is special. It allows me to connect with people on a deeper level. But you know, money in this economy, I don't think people realize how expensive equipment is. And so that's always one of the things, is like trying to find ways. Like even when I was in college, after college, I was always like, all right, I'm getting some extra money here for this photo shoot. How can I use this to reinvest into my craft? So it might just be going to invest in a new lens if I could, or investing into a software or a course or whatever the case may be. And so finances is always, you know, because you recognize that, especially in 2026, the economy is like, it's crazy for everybody, and everybody has challenges, but it's, you know, also like, okay, but you have to know that what you're doing is also special and it has value. And so wrestling with that, you know, day in and day out, of like, my price is my price, but I understand, you know, and I'm a person of like, hey, like, I try to work with people, but I also know that I'm spending a lot of money on this equipment, so it's got to be paid for somehow. And so I think that has always been a hurdle, was just the financial part. But also too, like, in a world where everybody's always comparing each other, I find myself like wishing I could get off social media for a while, but, you know, not knowing for sure if the the inquiries would still come if I'm like completely gone from social media for a month, you know what I mean? And so I love Instagram, I love social media, but social media can also be a hurdle in itself, because sometimes you get on social media and you see somebody, you know, got some opportunity or whatever, you like, well, I'm working my butt off, you know what I mean? And it's not really for me like a comparison thing. It's just sometimes when I'm talking to God, it's just a journey with myself, like, okay, what am I doing and where you want me next? And so, you know, trusting God in my journey has been what has eased some of that. So I would definitely say mental health, finances, but also just navigating your own journey and trusting that wherever God is supposed to take me is where I'm supposed to be.
You talked about how you show up for other people, and some of the hurdles and some of the things that you are being reminded of as you go along this journey is how you show up for yourself, how much you have to remember your value, how much you have to be connected to your belief, your faith, and your knowing, and God and the higher power, right? Of what this creation is, and how your passion and your service, so you'll be taken care of through that.
Most definitely.
But the segue of what I want to talk about is how you posted today about how proximity, expectation, and how you show up is also a part of the challenge, right? And how that not just shapes us, but how it's to reciprocate. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because when I saw it today, it's like I want her to say it, you know what I mean? I want her to say why what you were saying was like extremely important for how not only we show up for like ourselves, but how we show up in these community spaces, and when people seek us out and when we seek other people out.
So what I posted today, something I've been actually I talk to myself a lot, even when I'm at work. And one of the things I found that working in education, you know, you're in the classroom, you acting up, the teacher walk by, you get it together. And I was like, how does this translate into my everyday life? You know, when you have someone that has high expectation of you, and knowing that sometimes they may not always be right there behind you, next to you, but the same as in a classroom with a kid, like your teacher comes around, you might be off task a little bit, or you might have just zoned out. And sometimes you just need somebody that you look up to or rely on, or is in your village to, you have to be reminded of that proximity to that person, and knowing that sometimes you just need a little nudge.
Yep.
And so I think that was something I just had been thinking about since we've been in TCAP test, and I'm like, because I've been proctoring, I help proctor, which just kind of help make sure they take their test. So I'm like, every time I walk by, and I do it intentionally, like one of the girls today, as soon as the test started, she was dozing off. But as soon as I walked by, I didn't have to say anything. And sometimes you don't need someone to say anything. Sometimes you just need to know that they're there.
Yep.
And so as soon as I walked by, she, set up, because maybe she knew I believed in her, maybe not, I don't know. But I say all that to say, in my walk of life, I feel like having people in my village, whether in close proximity or, far away, knowing that they have high expectation of you and that they believe in you, it produces high performance.
It means something.
Yeah.
And I think so many different, the reason why I asked this, because what you said, right? I understand why generation to generations we have leaned into the extreme of people not wanting to have expectations of people, and people not wanting to have or take on the responsibility or accountability for making sure the next generation or the present generations that we're a part of, I don't want to say do well, but for lack of better words, I'm gonna say do well.
Yeah.
Or live up to what you feel our collective and individual potential is, our highest potential, right? And I could tell from the wisdom that you gave us, right, that that's something that helped, like it was developed through not just working with a younger generation, right, but how that pertains to you.
Yeah.
Because I don't work in the schools no more, but I through the other community work and the stuff that I was doing in Dallas, I have worked with children every single day. You know what I mean? And I have seen how that is it's helped me tap into my emotional awareness, but it also made me just mindful of, like, take the word shit out of it, but it also consistently reminded me of something of just like how my presence is a reminder to some children, right? Yeah. Showing up every single time.
Definitely.
With my kids, with my wife, with my marriage, right? Like the reciprocation of, like you said, like, and I like to dial that word down to devotion. You know what I mean? Like presence and devotion, and how consistently that we feed off that. Like we can't run from that. You know what I mean? Especially the Black community, especially the villages that we part of, big and small. Like we can't run from that. And you saying that and me saying that, like I said, was a subtle but a good reminder of how we have all benefited from that, and how we can continue that. Because like, bruh, like, whether it be the person or it be the voice, you know what I mean, of like someone just like, now you know what I mean, or you being able to, as a kid or as an adult, you being able to see something through because you were able to receive someone's expectation of you, or someone's like, and the expectation comes from a real place. We're not talking about like someone who won't walk those steps with you, or like walk through the journey with you, or just you know what I'm saying, give you a pat on the back and a reminder, like. And I know for a fact that shit has made a difference in my journey. You know what I mean? Someone just saying like, bro, like you got it. You know what I mean? Like, or like, especially during high school and shit like that, or coaches and stuff like that. And like you said, it's just funny because kids is a great reminder of like, like, oh snap, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Lock in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Definitely lock in, and just man, you said it so elegantly about like why proximity matters, because again, proximity matters in all directions.
Most definitely.
And who's around, you know what I mean? Someone could be present doing it could have been someone that the kids don't respect, you know what I mean? That and they was around and they got a little nervous, you know what I mean? Or they got defensive, you know what I mean? And didn't want to straighten up and get on their A game,
Right.
you know what I mean? And hopefully we create more experiences where that's not happening between child or adult at all in the schools, you know what I mean? But because there are some children who do respond to authority like that. I don't want to say authority like.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? But just a sense of someone, like you said, just having that expectation. She can sit right here. We're just having
You hanging out with your daddy?
Yeah.
That's your twin.
Yeah. Both of them.
No, literally. The genes strong.
Bro. I mean, like, even in there, like, I think bro, cause I be having so much, like, I think our creativity gives us a chance, right, to like be a part of like stories that are incomplete on paper, but like we carry them genetically. Like, I'm a firm believer, like, the way that we're able to create and preserve and tell our stories came from somebody that was in our family. Yeah. And the way they were and who we come from, you know what I mean? And I don't think it's random.
It's not, no.
And like I said, there are a lot of places that like we come from, right, there for different reasons are incomplete stories. Yeah. You know what I mean? For different circumstances that our people were not able to control. But from the moment we got here, or from the moment we was there, cause I honestly be feeling that, and it's like I know it even. Like that's what I be tapping into when I be speaking and when I be saying shit, because not only do I feel like we have that in our family, but again, I know that we have it in our communities, and that's why documentary, preserving our stories, our narratives, making sure we in front of those. You had a photo shoot, because that one, the behind the scenes went viral.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the pictures themselves went viral, and it was because the essence that was pouring from not all your pictures for sure. Yeah. And I'm sure you knew that when you was doing the work, you know what I mean? Cause like, I don't know if it's difficult but I would love like a walkthrough cause of like the inception of that, and like working with them with that, and then like just being able to materialize that into some of that work where like we saw a photo shoot where like everybody saw ourselves in that. Yeah. Everybody saw ourselves in that. And we saw like how important, how fucking cool, how close, how powerful. Like, we saw all of those things in that photo shoot with that family. Can you tell us a little bit about that photo shoot?
Yeah, most definitely. You know what the crazy part is? Like, people don't even realize, well, a lot of people don't realize, like, the people in those pictures, those are my cousins. And honestly,
that's crazy.
Alexis, she hadn't been on social media in a while. Wow. But I think I text her, and I was like, just checking on her. Cause you know, when somebody's not on social media, sometimes it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, and you kind of, let me make sure I intentionally go check on people, because sometimes we rely heavily on social media to connect with people. But I say all that to say, I text her, and she was like,
she want to be. Yeah.
she vibing. Yeah. And I'm here for it. Yeah. But no, she was like, I'm so glad you texted me, because I couldn't find your website. She's like, I've been wanting to book you for our maternity picture. And so Alexis is a creative in her own right. She's very humble about it, but we were able to kind of collaborate together and bring that vision to life.
When you start working at Haynes, what took you there? How did you get involved with working at Haynes?
Honestly,
Middle school, by the way, just in case for
Yeah,
clarity.
yeah.
How did you
Haynes
start
Middle
getting
School.
working in the school system?
so I used to be a substitute teacher back like before the pandemic hit. And so honestly, I never saw myself getting back into working for metro schools or just in the school system. But I was looking for another job, and Pat, he hit me up and told me there was a job opening. And so him and actually one of my best friends also works in the same department or role, just at a different school. And so they told me it was a job opening, and I applied, and I definitely felt like it was one of those things. And honestly, I was living in Murfreesboro at the time, and so my wife and I, we were in the process of trying to purchase a home together back here in the city. And so I knew if I were to get that job that I would have some sacrifices on the front end that could weigh on my mental health. But I knew and felt that working at Haynes, Haynes is literally 5 minutes from here and 5 minutes from my other grandmother's house. And so it just felt personal. Like it felt like a full circle moment. I was like, I don't even really know what this role entails, but it feels like this is what's next for me. And so in that, when I did get the job, I started a couple years ago, and I was driving from Murfreesboro every single day in an hour and a half traffic every day for about a month. And I told myself every day in the car, like, I trust you, And so, yeah, that's kind of how I got it. Pretty much how I got into it. I've been there ever since.
I asked this question to a few people who are not just creatives and leaders and community staples in their own right, but working with children, obviously, in some form or fashion, it may be a part of everyone's journey, but sometimes it's not, right? And most times it may not be, right?
Yeah.
But it is a part of your journey.
Yes.
It has been a part of mine. Does that pour into your creativity? And
absolutely.
What are some of the things, because I asked this because it is a reciprocal relationship when we allow it to be, right? And I know for a fact, working with children and having my own children has done something not just for my inner child, right? But for just how I operate in the world, right? When I am just throwing paint at the wall and trying to bring some emotions or some thought outside. Is it the same for you? Is it different? But like, how does working with the kids like working?
I truthfully don't see a world in terms of my career, whether it's the creative space or non-creative space, where I'm not working with the kids. Like, it is equally, working with the youth was a passion of mine before I ever picked up a camera. And so they teach me a lot, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of times people think like, oh, you can be a mentor and you can teach them how to drive a car and how to tie a tie. It's like, truthfully, they teach me a lot. Like, if you let them, you know what I mean? And so that is, working with the kids is definitely, it's a part of my journey. Like, I tell people all the time, I'm navigating two different callings, honestly. And they do have some overlap in so many ways. But working with the kids is just, it's a part of why I'm here. Not just to take pictures and capture memories, but to pour into the kids the way somebody poured into me. Like that, the whole conversation about proximity, like I've had so many mentors from the time I stepped foot into preschool, you know what I mean? Like, that have poured into me. Some that I still keep in touch with, some that I've been able to meet and not even rekindle, because we just never crossed paths for a while. And so crossing paths with people that you worked with or were your mentors as a kid, like, I want to be that person for somebody else. Like, like you said, the healing your inner child, like, it's healing for me to know that I can do for many other kids the way someone, did for me in terms of how they helped cultivate who I am today. And so, yes, it's definitely reciprocal for sure.
Right, you're doing it, cause like I said, it's been such an honor, cause like you, right, and a few others for sure, like consistently, and I know you know what I'm saying, appreciate the flowers and the love for the writing tip, because not many know, like there was a stint where I was just like, music ain't it ain't feeding my spirit, cause and that was just like for all the stages that I went through with feeling that, more of it was about myself. More of it was about myself. I can say that for sure.
Yeah.
But the creative blood we have, it had to be put into something.
Yeah.
So when I did Welcome to Earth School, I was going through so many different stages of like, I don't want it to look like and feel like anybody else's stuff, but so there are people that I'm inspired by who do this work, and they are able to enhance people's stories without it being centered around them, without it being about them, without it lacking essence, without it XYZ. So like when I started picking up the cameras, it had nothing to do, it literally had everything to do with like just being like of service. And I was working inside a community-based organization at the time, and it was just like, y'all I'm coming in degrees of people who like, you're saying things, you are doing things, you belong to a people, you are a person, right? That if I was someone who was a youth and they turned on the camera and they saw what you was doing and what you were saying 20, 30 years from now, it would mean something to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's tough,
it would mean something to them, and because that's how I was filtering the new experience that I was having would be more, with being more present inside the community-based organizations, right? Like, and even when I was a program leader in Dallas, that's when I really wanted to, because we had a camera inside the program leader. I had to come up with, for lack of better words, like the kids' workshops or the things that or the programs, pretty much.
Yeah, like the curriculum and stuff.
The curriculums. Yeah. But I had to come up with them with what they had at the school. Yeah. And they had cameras. So like when I was helping them do the cameras, like I didn't know anything about the cameras. Yeah. But what we were using the cameras to do, what I had them do was like start interviewing each other. The kids started interviewing each other. They started like becoming more comfortable with that, and then I started to become more hands-on in that, and like some of the stories that it was having the kids tell, and what they were proud to tell, and what they were proud to say, and then like like I didn't think nothing of it, but that was like one of the things that I think, I know that's one of the things that like helped plant the seed, right? So you have some of those moments that you're a part of your journey that you touched on that like you knew, right? But like it accounted for something that was able to stabilize itself in the future. You know what I mean? Yeah. Your mom helping you get the camera, right? You been in college at Fisk, legendary university, by the way.
For sure.
Historical. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Ville. Shout out to Fisk.
Yes.
So you going to college and then even finding support there, because like we in college, like no matter what you charging, you find the people in the community, people who support you, and like people like getting their picture taken, you know what I mean? So you get work, you get progress that way. I ain't gonna take up too much of your time,
you good.
Going to Fisk. Last person I interviewed, shout out to my brother Dope, he went to TSU.
Okay.
Right? And you go to Fisk. But I was talking about being rooted in this rich history, and then emphasis on the rich history in the Ville. Yeah. And where we from. Once again, we at our granny house. But I also know, right, and you know, just how rich the inner city and the black parts of Nashville and what we've been a part of, and why we are so powerful, why we are so resilient, why we are able to like come out on the other side with some of the most creative things. Yeah. But we also know about the overshadowing narrative of like white music city and like what people think Nashville is before they even come here. Before they come. Music, or where they want to go when they do come here. Yeah. You know what I mean? How do you feel what we do or what you do will help emphasize and do a better job of controlling? I don't want to say control the narrative, right? Because I don't think our priority should be controlling the narrative. Right. We're resilient people. We're beautiful people. Like not just Black Nashville, but our story's gonna live forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But how do you feel like your creativity, your individually, or we, you know what I mean, play a part in this cities or our inner city becoming more highlighted?
Yeah.
Or emphasized? And do you even think about that? Do you think about that narrative, and do you think about how they talk about it?
Most definitely. I definitely think about it. Honestly, it's one of those things where, like, even within the photography world, like, I didn't realize, I mean, not until I got on TikTok and stuff, how many, like, white photographers there were in Nashville that are making a crap ton of money. You know what I mean? So just not even specific to me, but just for us as creatives, Black creatives in Nashville, I think for me, just keep doing what I do, because I know someone out there is seeing what we do, may not recognize it, but we're here. And I think just those organic conversations, even when I'm like downtown sometimes, which is very rare, but when I'm downtown or, you know, somewhere where, you know, it's not like I do too. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I ain't going to Broadway after 5 o'clock. Like, if I'm just going to get something to eat, I do that. Yeah. But no, I think just continuing to do what you feel is your calling, or what is your calling. Somehow just have this hope that, like, one day someone like the mayor, you know, or somebody to be like, actually, I do know a guy. You know what I mean? And because we just remain visible and doing the work that we do, like, there's always not always, but oftentimes there's someone in the room that knows who you are, that can speak on your behalf even when you're not in the room. So I just kind of live off of that. Like, hopefully, as we all continue to do what we do collectively and as individuals, that what people don't realize they're coming to Nashville and getting, they'll get, if that makes sense. Like, and it's not, I wish I had like a recipe or this like strategy for it, but I really don't. I just kind of do what I do, and that's why I'm so like into like capturing the behind the scenes moments, and even if it's not a photo shoot, but like just the different conversations I have with people, I'm always putting the camera in front of myself, and not because I want to get likes and engagement. I mean, that's cool, but for me, it's just telling a story of as a Black creative that's born and raised in Nashville. The unicorns is what they call us.
Which is weird as hell.
Yeah.
You're the unicorn. You're not from here.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Shouldn't it be the other way around?
But I mean, for the majestic and the magical value,
yes,
we'll take it.
Yeah.
Because like we are, not only are we from here, but we got Ville pride. We got real Ville pride. You know what I mean?
Most
we
definitely
got stories to tell. Speaking of, you brought our brother Pat a few times. Cause I'm gonna let you hold the picture for the
look.
This is a
my
good
little
anchor.
picture. The wind done blew the picture, but it's all good. It's all good.
Let me make sure real quick. Yeah. Hold it up just a little bit.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So this is for people who don't know. You can tell us who this brother is. Obviously, he's an inspiration to many of us here in the field. But you can tell us who this is and why this picture here and how it speaks to you.
Yeah, this is tell people all the time, like we were just talking about people that pour into you, and you end up being able to like work with them as an adult, like from a kid to an adult. Like Pat was Coach Pat. That's how I introduced. No locks, little haircut or whatever. I didn't even know how old he was at the time, because I was a kid, and you just think everybody's old. Like it's like, oh, he's an adult, like whatever. But he was my basketball coach. I'm so mad my little picture is shifting out of the frame, but no, this is Pat Walker Reese. Started as a basketball coach, and now he actually does programming at my school that I work at. But I ran into Pat occasionally a couple times between like middle and high school, because this was back in elementary school when he was my coach, and he would always tell me, shoot the ball, like literally shoot the ball. as one of the only girls. I think I might have been either the only girl or one of 2 girls on the basketball team. But he would always tell me, when you get that ball, shoot it. You got the jump shot, just shoot it. And ironically, the mantra that people see that I live by, you know, when I'm telling stories or just talking to people, keep shooting, like, this is where it came from. Like, I was always nervous, you know, to shoot the ball because, you know, I'm the only girl. I didn't have the best, you know, handles or anything like that. I had just started playing basketball. But he would always tell me to shoot the ball. And, you know, he's written books and he's traveled the world and he's just continued to inspire me and so many other people. Absolutely. But being able to work with him and watch him be the Mr. Pat or the Coach Pat to the kids now that he was to me, it's crazy work. Like, it's full circle. But this is my dog, man. Like, I was able to.
One more time, shout out to Pat.
Yeah, he booked me for his photo brand for Aspire, his company's photo shoot, and so this is one of the pictures. And yeah, like, I just love the emotion and the everything that comes from this photo. But yeah, we're gonna keep creating. I told him we got more work to do. I gotta get him behind the get him in front of the camera again soon. But nah, that's one of my, if I need some inspiration or whatever, I know I can call him.
Shout out to the ones before us who still walk with us, bro. Like,
yeah,
that's why when you was telling me just the background story and how y'all, that is full circle.
Yeah.
There's someone like that president in my life too, Coach Ken's Skill Wing. I'm not sure if you he's been a basketball trainer for a lot of different athletes and stuff that come through the city or whatever, but he was my high school coach at basketball.
Yeah.
And super inspirational. Was always see my spirit even when I was hard-headed as hell.
Yeah.
And I've been working with him recently, man, to help him do some but it's just like, it's just crazy because I still see him do the same thing for you that he was doing for me. And like you said, like, the world is so, our perspective is so different at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we grow and we like, we're not always able to like have those full circle moments where we're able to acknowledge how those kind of people poured into us. But when we do have those full circle moments and we also able to acknowledge, like, it was what you said.
Yeah.
It was what you was doing. And those moments that, like, when I was going a little bit left, or I was going a little bit right, or I was nervous, or I was just full of fear. Something that you said out of wisdom was like, and you may not have, you may have been struggling with that as yourself as an adult, right? And then we become adults ourselves and we keep shooting.
Yep.
Oh, shit, I'm sorry, seriously, right on the keychain. That's
it's
crazy.
Everywhere. That's my
Keep
daily
shooting.
mantra, yeah.
So, and I was gonna ask you, like, if there's something that you would like leave, because another inspiration behind, like I said, Earf School, just to tell you a little bit about like what the inspiration is. There's different definitions and directions or dimensions that I go with it, but two of the main ones is the fact that this Earf School, this life that we all live in, right, is school. Yeah. The lessons and the blessings that we go through from the time we enter, the time we exit. And then Earf School in itself and how we preserve it, you know what I mean, in the now, and how people are able to come back and see the work that we're doing and how we're able to see the work that the people before us was doing. Yeah. And I was gonna ask you, what is something that you would leave us with, you know what I'm saying, for Earf School. So if you wanna leave us with keep shooting,
yes sir,
that's that one.
That's it, keep shooting. I mean, shooting for the stars, whatever that looks like for you. And, you know, in every season, you know, you're gonna have some ups and downs, some challenges, some hurdles, like we talked about. But as long as you wake up every day and believe who you are, and believe that you're capable of doing whatever it is you called to do, the world is yours. So keep shooting.
Man, cuz I know we're gonna catch up a lot more soon. Yes. I know this is a heavily seed planted. I don't think this was no coincidence. I'm glad you said yes. I really am. Obviously, I didn't know what you was gonna say because not everybody comfortable with this camera. We almost done. We almost done. Hold on. We almost done. But we.
I think this one just.
All good. We still got this one on you, right? But yeah, I'm glad you took the time, cause
I appreciate it.
I can't wait for this episode to come out. Cause
I'm excited. Yeah, there was no other answer but yes.
All right.
You inspired me. You know what I'm saying? So,
bro, it's a beautiful. It really is beautiful, man. Like I think what we doing, not just for ourselves, but for our family, gonna be important for real, for real.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Life changing. This camera right here is yours right here. So pretty much just how you end this episode. You just say your name one more time, and you just say, you know what I'm saying. You can even say thank you to Welcome to Earf School. You can say, but that's the drop. Your name and Welcome to Earf School.
All right. I'm Khay Renee. Welcome to Earf School.
Hard. We done.
It's a wrap.